Welcome. It's coaches Ryan and Danielle, and we are in our fourth, what do you want to call it, installment or video on our topic of self-discipline and how to improve that. And today's topic is it's kind of taking everything that we've talked about so far and kind of making it easier for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people have this negative connotation when we go to building habits
Notion
that it has to be a struggle. Like it has to be hard to do, right? It doesn't. There's certain things that we can implement that make it easier on us. There's no reason that we should have to struggle through this stuff.
Yeah, and when we say easier, we're not
Like
saying simpler for you.
Setting yourself up for success.
We hear a lot of, it'd be great to do this, but then I'd have to do A, B, C, and D, and I just don't have the time, or I just don't want to put the effort in and stuff like that. And you really don't have to get to those excuses to say, hey, I can't make these changes. And there's a lot of things you can do out there to make it easier on yourself without having to overhaul your life.
Yeah. And I think the first thing we want to, and we like to bring this up a lot, is starting small. Starting small, leaves that overwhelm to the side so that you don't get overwhelmed before you even start. Because I think so many people think that's such a lofty thing I'm trying to reach and all the stuff I have to do to get there. And they're like, I don't even feel like doing that. But starting smaller is the first simple thing.
Small and realistic goals based on what you're willing to do. That has to be the single most important aspect. Are you willing to make these changes? Are you willing to take this step, whether it be small or large or whatever it is? But if you're going small, most of the times you're willing to do it, and then it aligns with the goals that you have. So on top of that, of course becomes the planning aspect, right?
Right. So planning ahead is going to be key when it comes to any habit formation that you have. And, let's take an example as drinking more water.
You love that example.
I do like that water because it's also a very important one too, though. And a simple one to start with for people, so it can help build those.
Danielle, is that really going to get me to where I want to be next week or the week after that or the week after that?
No, but it's a step, right? So it's a step in the right direction.
Start somewhere. And for those of you who are poo-pooing an idea like this, you need to get your head out of your butt and you need to focus on doing one of these simple things because it's moving you in that direction of getting you to where they want to be. No, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next week. There's a gradual process, and that is how you create sustainable habits.
Yeah. So let's use the water as an example. As you know, I do like using water as an example, but it's a good one to use. Obviously, if you want to hit a certain amount of water intake for the day, you're going to want to have water near you at all times. So a simple thing you can do is just make sure you always have water with you.
It's a constant thing. It's on your mind. What is that?
Yeah, I mean, literally always grabbable, like within arm's reach. I have this habit so down at this point. If I leave the house without my water bottle, I get in my car and I'm like, oh nope, it just doesn't feel
she doesn't
right.
have pants on.
I just don't feel right unless my water bottle is with me. So it's hard to go hours without water if my water is right next to me. I also like drinking out of a straw, so I make sure that my cup has a straw. If I have to unscrew the top, I'm not going to drink as much water. It's just not going to happen.
That is my single best increase of water intake trick or tip that we can give you. And mainly because of what Danielle said, if you have a bottle that requires you to do more work, chances are you're not going to put as much time and effort into drinking.
And it's less convenient. It's hard to unscrew a bottle when you're trying to drive, or even when you're working out. It's hard to unscrew that. It's easier just to either have the squeeze bottles.
Here, you keep on talking and have a sip and not miss a beat, right?
Right.
But if you had to undo that and then make sure you get the proper tilt and lift into your mouth, who knows if it gets all over the place at that point, how foolish you look. So again, you just make it easier on yourself, make it simpler for that. And I know you're going to go to next, so I'll let you go.
No, you go.
You go.
So I like to use exercise as my next example.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep on going on the water route. We can go for more on water. We can make it even simpler. They make apps that'll tell you.
Reminder apps.
They'll remind you exactly when to drink water. Holy shit, guys, this is mind blowing. You have something to tell you, drink water right now.
Yeah, because it's easy to go hours, especially if you don't have water by your side. And especially if you're not used to drinking water and your body's not telling you that you're thirsty, which will tend to happen if you're not somebody that hydrates. Once you get that hydration level up and then you go a few hours, your body will be like, oh, you need to take a drink now. So it's nice to have these water reminder apps. We both have them on our phone. It'll just give you a gentle reminder and it'll just be like, oh, right, I need to take a sip of water.
A little accountability. Yeah. And if you don't want to go into the app group, set an alarm for yourself every 30 minutes, every 45 minutes, every hour. and you just make sure that you, once it goes off, you drink water, and then you restart that alarm. It's that simple.
Yeah, it does not have to be complicated. So another example, when we're talking about exercise, like how can you make that simpler for yourself? We've kind of discussed this before, but pre-picking out your workouts so you know what you're going to wake up and do. If you're doing it first thing in the morning, especially. Setting out your workout clothes to make it that much easier just to get up and put on your clothes and get right into your workout. Starting with basics. It doesn't have to be this, intricate, very well planned out workout.
Yeah.
Go for a walk and, do 20 jumping jacks. It doesn't have to be anything more than you're getting up and moving your body.
Especially if it's something that you're not doing currently right now, and everybody out there is at different levels and different, have different backgrounds. But if you're looking to just make a start, like that's the key. That's the key to that. I think so much of this comes down to, making it simpler, because we can always take a step in the right direction. But many of us will use that big E word, okay, excuses for the reasons why we can't do something. And in our society, that looks as like a bad thing, but that's a normal thing to do when we're going into making some sort of change, right? We as human beings and our brains and our bodies don't want to be in an uncomfortable state. So it's easy to just say, well, it's too much work to do that. It's too much work to get up a half hour earlier because then I got to do all these other things and this and that. So I just won't do it. But those excuses are preventing you from where you want to be, not only now, but in the future as well. So we need to be able to squash that. And you can do that by simple, easy little tactics or techniques to get you moving in that forward direction. So don't let these excuses get in your way of making these changes.
Yeah. And anything that is stopping you from reaching your goals, example again, I want to drink 80 ounces of water a day. Anything that's holding you back from hitting that goal is an excuse. Anything there you have, if it's, oh, I didn't have my water today. Well,
and it's okay.
Sure.
It's okay that you're using excuses.
Yeah.
Just know that you're using them.
Right.
And they are preventing you from getting you where you want to be. It's too many times that I think when we talk to people, we work with people, this is not an excuse, or I know I'm using this as an excuse. Yes, you are. And we do the same thing with certain things that we have.
It's human nature.
So it's not as if we're above and beyond something along those lines. We do the same thing, but like anything else, we need to recognize that we're making these excuses, and then of course learn from that to say, okay, well, how can I not use this as a reason why I can't be doing something? And that will further my success to where I want to be.
And it's so important. Self-assessment is literally, it has to be the first thing you do before you make any change. You need to know where you are before you can even move forward. You need to realize that you're making these excuses and, okay, I made this excuse. How do I not do this in the future? Yeah. How do I make this easier for myself? I have my water on me all day. Okay, I need to get a water bottle.
There's that water again. There's that water again.
Easy to carry around and stick in my cup holder. I didn't have a healthy dinner like I really wanted to have. Well, did you plan ahead? Did you, shop for the ingredients that you needed? Do
you have things that are already readily available to you in your pantry that you can easily go to?
It's so great to say, I want to have a healthy dinner tonight. And then you get home at 5 o'clock and you're like, what am I going to make? And now you can't find anything. And now it's like, well, I'm just going to order a pizza because I don't have anything. I really wanted to have a healthy dinner. Well, you made it harder for yourself by not just taking a few moments to plan ahead.
Exactly. So we got to stop at those excuses and start using some of these simple techniques, or just taking some action in these areas to start, the creating that foundation for where you want to be, not only now, but in the future. If you have any comments you want to make on this, please shoot us below.
Yes. Things that you do to make your routines easier.
I haven't even got to that point. My phrase of comments, compliments, and tips or remarks, feel free to send them to us. If you have any questions, let us know. We're always here to help coach you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We will be back with our 5th installment later in the week. Bye.